Hello and welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the best sort of things that I've learned as I've went kind of up through the ranks, and the things that I've kind of used to get to like GC and GC2 and peak GC3. I've not actually been back to GC3 since. I've not been back to GC3 since, but which is sad, very sad. Very sad about that. You know, there's always time to go back up, I suppose. But this is basically the best sort of mechanical difference and shift that I used a lot. And I watch a lot of pro players like Appjack, and I basically see him do this mechanic pretty much every single game, man. Yeah, I see Appjack doing this mechanic pretty much every single game that I've seen. And I started doing this when I was around about GC1. I started doing this a lot, and it literally helped me so much. It's going to be a kind of a confusing concept, but I'll try and make it as simple as I possibly can for you to understand. So basically, the mechanic is, I've been doing it a couple of times here, is basically the pre-flip off the wall into the air dribble. This is the most effective, basically way of playing, especially in like 2s and 3s. That's the most effective way of playing. This is because the players are just going to instantly challenge you. As you know, if you go anywhere, that you know, you're basically just getting insta-challenged every 2 seconds, man. They're absolute demons these days. So you're just getting instantly challenged, and it's very hard to play against. If you're going for a normal air dribble, it is just not that effective a lot of the time to go for this sort of air dribble anymore. And don't get me wrong, it definitely can still work if they're not instantly challenging you. You can get away with doing it, but when you get to a higher level, like at this point here, there will be someone already on the wall, ready to challenge you. And that kind of starts. Well, to be honest, I would assume, I've not been Champ 3 in a long time, but I would assume that it probably starts around about Champ 3 is when that happens. So when you get to this point in the wall, 9 times out of 10 there's a guy on the wall there ready to challenge you, or he's already pre-jumping you, or you know, you don't have the time that you once used to have in this game. So this is the best mechanic, and you'll see Zen as well doing this all the time to the ceiling. I'm not the best at doing it to the ceiling. It's kind of harder to do it to the ceiling, but you kind of like get under it and pop it. But I'll show you how to master it in a way. So the best way I can describe this is your setups already have to be to a good enough kind of point, to the point where you can basically set it up in any way possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, it's like a pretty average setup that most players above probably, not Diamond, like Champ would probably, maybe Diamond, but definitely Champ would be able to get more often than not. So you just need a fairly average setup on the ball, and whatever direction that you're flipping, it's normally is a lot easier in diagonally doing this. So to get your ball, your car diagonally, kind of touching the ball, if you get me, the corner, the front left or front right, I find it easier with the front left. That's just my kind of preference. I normally do it with the front left. It's a lot easier for me to do. So boost under the ball and basically flip up the way. Flip up the way and kind of diagonal, if that makes sense. So flip diagonal with your corner of your car touching the ball. And again, you can technically do this straight on. I'll try to do it straight on, but it's not as effective, I don't feel like. Like it goes very high, and it's kind of harder to control it. I mean, as I said, for the Zen shot, it might be useful in that scenario. But this is, I hope this makes sense on how I'm explaining it. So to the diagonal of my car, I'm not flipping into it. I'm just showing you like kind of where I'm going with it. So as you see there, I hitting with the diagonal. That's the most important bit. I keep saying that. It's the most important bit of the whole kind of way you set this up. It's basically just a more advanced high-level air dribble, and you do this in 3s a lot probably, is jump off the wall and just smash it. It's always a good idea in pretty much any situation is to hold power slide or hold not power slide, hold free air roll. That is also like when you flip into the ball, you want to hold free air roll, diagonally flipping, and it will kind of keep you upright and able to continue the dribble. Now this is so helpful because if you know that there's a guy going to be challenging you, you can basically instantly flip it over him and get some sort of setup on the ball, which you probably wouldn't have been able to get before. If you'd went for a normal air dribble, this guy here that would have been on the wall is just going to instantly donk you, you know what I mean? You're going to get instantly challenged. I don't know why I said donk, that is an odd saying. That is basically the mechanic that is the most important in my opinion for getting to like kind of GC2, GC3 territory, is being able to boost up to the ball, diagonally flip into it, and basically turn it into something else. This is mainly for 2s and 3s, and 1s it is actually probably a lot better to take the time here and basically try go for something. Or, I mean, really if you're wanting to play super sweaty, it's just air dribble bumps. That's the best way to do it, to be honest, but that's not me. I have respect and dignity. So yeah, one more time, just going up for the ball, popping it off the wall, boosting into it and hitting it as diagonally, and try hit it with the corner of your car, and hold power slide while you're doing this, and your car will basically land upright and you can continue the air dribble and go into something else. Now this sounds very obvious, especially after this game been out so long. But mechanically everyone is so good now, and you need to try find an edge. Everyone is so good at challenging now, especially higher up the ranks. You basically don't have enough time to do anything you want in this game, really. This is one of the only ways you can kind of beat people now, unless you're a bit of a lower rank. To be honest, that's the only way. Sorry, I don't know what happened with my throat there. That was weird. This is one of the only ways that you can basically beat people, is if you know they're challenging and basically you can flip into it and flip it over them. It sounds so obvious. I don't know if it's just because I only kind of just started getting the hang of this. But if you watch Appjack, he literally does this mechanic every single time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, more often than not. You'll never see Appjack, who, if you don't know who Appjack is, then I would definitely go watch him. I was going to make some sort of joke there, but I really just would go watch him. He is basically one of the best players in the world, and he does this every single time. He's so perfect at doing it. It's just such a good way, and especially, whoa, that was so clean, by the way. Oh my goodness. Especially in a game like in a game at the top level, you know, really all it comes down to is kind of meticulous things such as boost management. If you can master this, the amount of boost that you can save is unbelievable. So this is basically the video, guys. I really hope that you found this informal, and you know, a lot of people kind of just focus on the. I'm just talking about from like, because in situations people say that mechanics aren't important and stuff like that, but this isn't even like, this should be a fundamental as well. Like this should be classed as a fundamental, being able to do that. You know, because like, you hear pros and that say that you don't really need mechanics to be at the top level, or well, to be an SSL, say that to be at the top level you probably do need mechanics. But this is such a fundamentally overlooked thing. And to be fair, at GC2, this is like when I got into GC1, I noticed players were doing this more often. Like they were so good at setting it up, and yeah, this is it basically. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that this was informal to you in some way. This is my favourite kind of thing that I've learned lately. Obviously, the higher up you go, it's kind of hard to learn like new things. It's really hard to learn new things. It's kind of just more about consistency when it gets to a certain point. So this is one of the things that I really wanted to try to get super consistent at, and I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. Definitely. I mean, right now I actually haven't slept at all. It's like very early on in the morning, but I thought I'd make this video because it was very interesting to me. So pop it off the wall, diagonally flip into it, keep your car upright, and then you can turn it into something. It is so powerful if you can do it right. Thank you very much for watching. If you watched this point in the video, please consider subscribing. So I would really appreciate if you guys would subscribe, like, leave a share, whatever, if you don't mind. And I hope you all enjoy your Christmas as well. So yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one, and thank you very much for watching.